Excuse me, sir. Do you have a giant ball of plastic on your desk? What could that possibly be?
What giant ball of plastic?
White plastic ball in front of your face.
What the fuck? Oh, this. Oh, Mattel's toy company made this podcast microphone, so I picked that up immediately.
It looks like a fake toy. People make fun of you for it.
Yeah. Do people make fun of me in the comments?
I don't know. It's
probably should.
Like, it looks fake.
I feel like we get a lot of emails about it. It doesn't look real. It is. But doesn't look real. Pretty good sound from it. But
for a USB mic, it's not bad.
Yeah, but looks like a toy. You know, like it literally might be Mattel plastic.
Why did they have to make it look like some sort of fucking like a space alien?
Yeah, maybe to make themselves different from like a Yeti microphone. I don't know. Like it looks fucking stupid. It looks fucking stupid.
You know, you're right. It is marketing.
It is, yeah, it's got to be because it makes it look like slightly different. Because like the microphone you have, there's no difference in aesthetic, like from a Yeti microphone or any other kind of USB microphone like that. We don't like what's this? I know what this is called. This is called the Blue Snowball. What the fuck is this one called? Probably don't. Oh, you have to look. That means you don't know.
It doesn't even. It's not labeled.
Oh shit! It's just a fucking pod mic. Welcome everybody to the Spooky-tober 2017 finale. It's a 2-hour special. It's going to be a long
special. We're talking about what, 7 movies?
7 films. Yeah, it could have been more too. Could have been more.
We'll get into that.
We're joined, of course, as always, by Buck LeDuc, and a tranced glance at this tramp's pants make the ladies go pant. I'm Charlie J. Fox, and welcome to Spooky-tober and Movie Epidemic podcast. Wow. So essentially, we went out last night to Globe Cinema in Calgary, Alberta. I live 3 blocks away from there. If you want to assassinate me, probably should.
You could probably pretty easily kill Chadley.
Yeah,
because he only hangs out in this living room.
Only hang out in my living room,
and he almost doxes himself every episode. So.
And honestly, there's like an apartment building with sort of like a balcony mid the apartment building just across the way. Easy snipe. It would be an easy snipe into my apartment from over there. Yeah, if you wanted to snipe me, it would probably be pretty easy. So before we jump into it and really talk about the Globe Cinema, I want to talk about something I did over the weekend. Yeah, you ever been to this Build-A-Bear workshop?
Sure.
So my wife's sister has kids, and we had them for a day or whatever, and so we take them to Build-A-Bear workshop. We're like, oh, we'll buy them a bear. Fuck it, whatever. We'll buy these. Yeah, buy them a bear. You think you're gonna walk out of there spending like $45, maybe $50? That's not really how it goes down. But here's the thing about Build-A-Bear workshop. It is the #1 most obnoxious place I've ever been in my entire life. Okay, and there's 2 reasons why. #1, you got to be a real specific lass to work here. You have to be so fucking specific. This like 45, maybe 50-year-old lass is just throwing out like My Little Pony trivia, which is way too specific for her to have not like been really invested in the canon. They had a Vulpix Pokemon that I was looking at, and this fucking bitch, again, 45 to 50 years old.
I don't know if you're allowed to call her a bitch.
Yep, maybe. Yep, that's offensive. Anyway, this 45-year-old lass comes up to me and starts doing a Vulpix impression at my face for like 5 seconds, and like I didn't say anything. I didn't prompt her to do this. I was just looking at it. She comes up to me. She does this. I didn't respond.
That's a Pokemon?
Yeah, that's a Pokemon, and it makes a very high. Okay, it's like a little fox, and it's got like 5 tails. It's like a little orange fox. Okay. Pretty neat. And so she comes up to me. She does the impression, which if you've never heard it, it's just an obnoxious, loud pitch.
I've never heard it, so you're probably gonna have to do an impression.
Okay. It's like Vulpix. Like that's what it is. Like this girl comes up to me and she just does this at my face for like 5 seconds, and I don't respond. I just like look at her, and she just like laughs and walks away. So I'm like, okay, so this is the type of person you are. That's great. Okay, but then here's what really pisses me off about doing it is that You can't. I don't. You've never been to Build-A-Bear, right? That's what you said.
No,
You've never
I have been there.
Oh, you have been.
We actually went there with good buddy Loxy.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right.
A bear.
That's right. He made a bear, and we made fun of him.
Sir,
yeah.
You're 20.
Yeah, you're fucking 20 years old for sure. Don't do. Oh, and don't be wearing the fucking Nightmare Before Christmas Mickey Mouse ears nonstop the flight home.
Excuse me, sir. You're carrying a lightsaber. You 20.
We asked him to stop doing shit like that so many times on that trip. But anyway, so you can't just walk into Build-A-Bear and say, hey, that's a good bear that's got a $30 price tag. I'll take that. No. You can't just, it's not a short trip. You got to go in with the time and you got to make the thing. They don't let you just buy it. Yeah. They make you build it. But like sometimes
Build-A-Bear workshop.
Yeah. But sometimes I just want to buy a bear. Like I just want to buy a fucking stuffed animal. So we get this thing.
Part of the branding. It's Build-A-Bear workshop.
They have these fucking things, and they're like labeled as $30, and they're like their model units or whatever, right? And so
that's for the physical item.
That's for not even because the model units typically have like the fixins, like the little costumes and the hats.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but the $30 is literally just for the skin of the thing. It's the fucking condom skin.
Inside stuff costs money.
Yeah. So no. The inside stuff doesn't cost money. They fill it up for you, but everything else does cost money. And here's why that's a problem. A few years ago, I went into Build-A-Bear to get my girlfriend the toothless fucking from How I Met Your Mother Dragon or whatever.
How I Met the Mother Dragon.
How I Met the Mother Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon or whatever. And I walked in there. They must have seen I was an adult and just been like, this guy's here for no nonsense. He's just gonna buy this thing and walk out. That's a lot of fun. You go in with kids, different story. Yeah. Way different story. They're like, they bring it up to you. They offer the add-ons, which are a lot of money, but they don't offer it to me. They offer it to the kid.
Yeah, it's good marketing.
Yeah. It's a fucking sales scheme. Audience. It's a Ponzi scheme, dude. And so they're like, fucking, do you want a scent on your bear? A bubblegum scent for $7? First of all, that's insane. That's going to be gone in 2 days, first of all. But of course, the kid knows that there's a bubblegum scent. They want it now. And like they're offering, I wanted to spend 60 tops. And we just walked out of there. We spent like well over $100. Like, fuck it. For two of these fucking stuffed animals, dude. I was so pissed, dude. And we were there for like an hour because
you gotta buy shoes.
You gotta buy fucking shoes and like a little skirt.
What does it need shoes for? Where is it walking to?
Yeah, they make you put a heart in it.
I understand.
Yeah, this well, it was a pony. It was a My Little Pony. So
cover its pussy. But like, why does it need shoes? Where's it going? You take off its skirt, fuck its horse pussy.
Well,
it's not walking anywhere.
The problem is that they sell the horses and the dogs, right? But it is a Build-A-Bear workshop, and that was the foundation. So they only sell the shoes in twos.
Yeah. Next time I go to one, though, I want to get like a koala bear and give him a Kylo Ren lightsaber or something.
Well, you can just buy the little outfits, and we were like gonna buy like the little toothless outfit that you can buy and just put it on the cat. We were gonna try and put it on the cat, but like
so you can get like a Kylo Ren outfit for your dick.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
is Adam Driver 14 or 40?
We were at the mall too, and I wanted to go to like Sunrise to buy like Blu-rays and shit, and we got out of Build-A-Bear workshop, and at that point I'm just exhausted.
Oh, excuse me, this has wasted my whole day, and now I have no money.
Yeah, so. I'm at that point I'm exhausted. Like you want to go buy Logan on Blu-ray, and I'm like, no, I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to go the fuck home. Like I'm pissed,
riled up.
Yeah. So that riled me up.
Straight riled.
So last night we went to the Globe Cinemas Halloween movie marathon.
12-hour movie marathon.
12-hour. We made it what, like 8? I'd say like seven and a half hours. Yeah, 8 hours. We made it about 8 before we started dying and just fucked off.
Yeah, I don't know if you're not expected to stay for all of it.
No,
I think people must have. I haven't looked at the stats yet.
There's a reward for staying for
I remember there was that one guy that was talking to us in the lobby. He's like, well, I don't have a car, so I literally just have to stay here until transit comes back anyway.
Yeah, at the very least.
All right, that guy's staying.
You know what was cool about that, though, is that because we were just in a room of like-minded people, like interesting and cool people were just like talking to us. And I'm like, oh, I don't like it when people just talk to me on the street.
Yeah.
But like, in a room full of
events. I feel the same way about film festivals. I'm usually just hanging out, smoking cigarettes and reading books outside while I'm waiting.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, that's interesting. Why are you reading the Silmarillion while having a cigar? Like, don't worry about it.
And you're like, because I've been carrying this fantasy novel in my pocket all day, obviously.
Dude, I'll carry a 750-page fantasy novel in my pocket. They're like, this guy's got a lot of shit in his pocket. It's like, no. One thing. Fucking Steven Erickson book.
Oh man, that's amazing. So it was a really cool atmosphere. But this was our first mistake. First thing we did when we got there, had our first beer. That was our first mistake, I think.
And it started at 7 p.m. I hadn't really eaten at all.
I hadn't eaten anything.
And for some reason I thought it was a good idea to go to a 12-hour film festival.
Without eeating, yeah.
And then immediately just started drinking.
Oh, dude.
I also had like 15 beers the night before, so like I couldn't eat. Really.
You were pretty hungover. Here's the thing, is that I typically don't get hangovers. And I had 4 beers last night. I wasn't even that drunk. And this morning.
That many beers?
What?
You had that many beers?
Yeah, I had 4. Yeah, I had fucking 4. I had 2 during the first movie and then 1 during the second and 1 during the third.
I only had 1 and I couldn't finish my second beer.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't even drink that much.
Bad.
But anyway, I only had 4 beers, but because I didn't eat anything, I was pretty drunk. Like I would call it pretty drunk on 4 fucking 6%ers. And I woke up with the worst hangover I've ever had in my life. And I've gone 15 beers deep before.
Yeah.
I've
seen you.
Yeah, I've gone 15 beers deep before. But this morning I woke up and I was fucking pissed, dude. I walked into the city and like I had like this t-shirt on and like the fucking suit jacket and no socks and sunglasses, just trying to find fucking AAA batteries. I was pissed, dude.
Oh, riled up. So I was wearing this nice suit.
Yeah, as you can see.
If you go over to punchnerds.com, I'm wearing it. It's my new official uniform for the show. I'm going to wear it for every episode because
good friend Max Landis gave it to him.
Yeah, it's from our good friend Max Landis.
Dirk Gently fame.
Of Dirk Gently fame.
Yeah. And so Frankenstein? Or no, Victor Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah.
An American Ultra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And what was that one he did with Mr. Wright? That's what it was with Rockwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Max Landis. Pretty sure.
Yep, that was.
Oh, do you know Max Landis is remaking an American Werewolf in London?
I don't know if that's ever been confirmed.
I think it has been at this point.
You said that. I am pretty sure you said that a couple of weeks ago too, when we were talking about American Wolf or American Wolf.
You okay? Are you drunk now?
I'm old, so like I got drunk 2 days ago, and it's still affecting me.
Still fucking you up. I get it. I'm wondering if on this podcast, I think we've been doing this podcast for 15 minutes. Should we maybe talk about some movies? I don't know.
Probably.
Should we talk about some films on the Movie Epidemic podcast?
Real quick, though. There wasn't really that many good costumes.
Yeah, no, I was actually surprised. The best one was Mayor McCheese. There was a guy dressed as Mayor McCheese.
Vote for Cheesy.
Yeah, there was a guy dressed as was something from
Black
The Witch.
Phil.
Yeah, Black Phil.
A lot of A24 fans.
Yeah, yeah. You could just smell the A24 in there.
Yeah.
But then like they had the costume contest and the fucking Mayor McCheese costume was dope. But you know what beat out Mayor McCheese? Slutty Freddy Krueger. And it's like, yeah, it wasn't even that good of a costume.
It was fine.
It was slutty though.
It was slutty.
It was slutty, dude. I was into it, but I was pissed that it won.
One of our good buddy Luxie, one of his friends were there.
Oh, his little goblin friend.
Goblin friend, and the dude's so ugly. He literally went into the costume contest with no costume. Yeah, it was the wildest shit I've ever seen.
Took off his shirt.
And I texted Luxie during it, and he hit me back with like, seriously. oh my God.
Yeah, he's like, what would you say? He's like he's definitely not 5 foot.
He's way under 5 feet.
Yeah, he's like 5 foot or 4'6" maybe. He's smaller than DeVito for sure.
Yeah.
Just a little like half goblin, man.
Covered in horrible tattoos.
Covered in the worst tattoos I've ever seen. And he has purple hair that you know the scene from Aladdin where she does her hair up like a ponytail that goes upwards? That's the shit this dude's got going on.
Yeah.
He's trying to add height.
So ugly.
Yeah.
He went into a costume contest with no costume.
Dude.
I was like, hey, I know that guy. That's just what he looks like. Get him out of here.
So now that we're talking about costumes, you do have your skeleton thing on. I don't give a shit about Halloween. My girlfriend just showed up one day and just gave me this dragon outfit.
Is that what, a Digimon?
Yeah, it's a No, it's a Pokemon. It's Charizard, the Pokemon.
Oh, it looks like a Digimon.
Yeah, it looks like a Digimon.
Looks like fucking Digimon.
Yeah, dude, I'm a huge Digimon fan though. Huge Digimon fan. And so that's what we're wearing for today's podcast.
Monsters.
Yeah. So let's go through what we're actually going to be talking about today. We're going to go through everything we saw at the Globe Cinema Halloween movie marathon. We saw 4 films. There was going to be 7. We were going to stay till Final Destination 5, but
I couldn't
do it. Couldn't do it. Literally couldn't. I was so and then I get home and my fucking cat keeps me awake for another 90 minutes. I was pissed, dude.
I also stayed up for like an hour listening to the new last podcast on the left. So
honestly, we probably could have stayed for Final Destination.
I don't know if I would have been able to drive home though, at like 4:30 in the morning.
Well, I mean, just sleep. You can literally sleep on the Movie Epidemic podcast couch.
I don't know. There's a lot of jizz on it.
A lot of jizz, dude. Maybe fresh jizz. I don't know. I can't verify. Can't verify.
So what do we got? What are we talking about?
I'm just kidding. I crank in the chair, so don't worry about it. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the first movie that we saw at the Halloween movie marathon, which was Fright Night. Then we're going to be talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Then we're going to be talking about We're going to segue into Leatherface, which wasn't part of the movie marathon. It's just a movie that we saw this week. Then we're going to be going back to the Halloween movie marathon where we watched. What was the third movie we saw?
It's going to be Halloween.
Oh, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which I'd never seen before. Then we're going to be talking about, so many movies, dude. Buckle up, because it's going to be a wild Spooktober. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, and then we're going to be finishing off Spooktober the way we started Spooktober by talking about some Stephen King. We're going to talk about the new Stephen King movie 1922. We're going to talk about Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which is a fucking masterpiece, but we'll talk about that later. And then we're going to be doing the King of King Spooktober finale 2017 draft, where we're going to be essentially drafting 10 Stephen King films each. It's going to be fucking wild.
Are you excited to hear the live fatigue on the podcast? Because after like 4 of these, I'm going to kill myself. So.
Here's the thing, though, is that like I thought at this point I'd be pretty sick of seeing Stephen King movies.
There's still a lot more, though.
Yeah, we're going to have to come back next Halloween because there's still like 40 more. There's some that like I did, like Dolores Claiborne I've never seen. Like there's so many that we didn't hit up. But let's not talk about stuff that we didn't hit. Let's talk about stuff we did hit. So beer number 1/2, we got Fright Night. So you had never seen this movie. We neither of us had ever seen this movie. I didn't even know what
Fright Night was.
Yeah, I knew it was a horror movie, but I knew just so very little about it. And you know what I really didn't know about it? Is that it stars Roddy McDowall,
who
we famously love. We
love Roddy.
Roddy McDowall, dude.
We've had full pods just talking about Roddy and how good he is as a monkey.
He is good as a monkey. He's also really good as a shizzy TV host / vampire killer. A lot of fun. So Fright Night, the first, I would say, like hour is fucking horrible. Like it's really bad for like the first hour where it's just like the kid cranking off. And
in my opinion, this is it knows exactly what it wants to be, and I thought every second was the most fun I've ever had.
Really,
this was my favorite thing I saw this out of the 4 that we watched.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. This was the best one you think we saw last night. We'll get into what I think the best one we saw last night was in a little bit. But no, I think that the climax, like the last because it's got the 45-minute reveal, right?
Mhm.
Which is a lot of fun because it's 80 minutes. And the climax is 35 minutes.
It's an 80-minute movie, and it also feels like it's 4.5 hours long because they just
it's kind of dense for an 80-minute movie.
No, it's actually 110 minutes.
Oh, it's 100 because it felt longer. I just assume all these horror movies are 80 minutes because typically they are.
Mm-hmm.
They I feel like the horror standard is an hour and 22 for some reason.
Because there's so many characters in this. There's the Chris Sarandon vampire. Then there's his little buddy, which is hilarious.
Dude, I loved the fake Mark Ruffalo vampire, dude. It's a lot of fun.
Me too. I thought he was awesome.
That was Chris Sarandon. Yeah, he's fucking awesome. I also love his Goonie sidekick.
That guy was my favorite. He was like, "Hey, buddy, hey, what's up?"
He's like, "Stay away from the holy water."
He's a silly bitch. And then you got one of my favorite characters, Evil Ed.
Oh, Evil Ed, dude,
Ed just showing up.
I'm a big fan of the fact that they call him Evil Ed before he becomes evil. It's so stupid, dude. But
and then I guess the least interesting character is the main kid and the girl.
Well, the main kid I think might be based on me, down to the name. His name's fucking Charlie, but that's exactly what I was like when I was 16, was just trying to fuck ladies and also be
Kill
paranoid.
vampires.
Yeah, be paranoid about shit that was going on in my life, you know?
Yeah.
He's a schizophrenic paranoia, which I also am.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that main character, he's really not that interesting, which sounds fucked up because I just said he's a lot like me, but he really isn't that interesting. The girl's a bit more interesting than him, I think, but not by a lot. Really, you're in here to see Evil Ed, Chris Sarandon, goofy sidekick, and more than anything, Roddy.
Dude, when I saw Roddy's name show up on the screen, we were fucking
losing
thrilled,
it. Yeah, we were fucking losing it, dude. Really, really excited. So what this movie is about is this kid has his new neighbors move in, and immediately he starts sniffing around and comes to the wild conclusion that his neighbor is a vampire. And so he goes to Roddy McDowell, whose name was Peter Vincent, which, by the way, that's a great fucking handle. Peter Vincent was the name of the fucking vampire hunter killer.
That's right, yeah.
And that's a great handle.
Sounds like a Vincent Price type name.
Yeah, it's derivative for sure. Yeah. And so this guy was in a bunch of vampire movies and had his own TV show about how he kills vampires. And turns out he's a hack, which is a lot of fun. But then he actually becomes a vampire killer in the movie.
Which is such a fun arc.
I agree.
Everything about this movie I just love so much.
I feel like I've seen that arc before somewhere, but I can't really pinpoint it.
They did it so well. It's it's just shitty 80s. Everybody's trying to fuck everybody.
Yeah. And the girls wearing those fucking shitty bras that don't show nothing, and trying to fuck people with those shitty bras. Yeah, dude, that's a lot of fun. I'm gonna take this hat off because it's fucking roasting. But yeah, so that's the first 40 minutes of the movie. Then there's a 10-minute disco scene.
Oh, it's so good.
It's fucking awesome, dude. And I think that's where I was like, okay, I'm in for this now, because there's the 10-minute disco scene, and then from the 10-minute disco scene, there's the actual scene, the main climax where they're running through the haunted house.
I feel that climax goes on for so long.
It's really long. It might be an hour.
There's a point where Chris Sarandon, every time Roddy McDowell busts out a cross, he's like, "You have to have faith." Says it 5 times, and it's okay, we get it.
You gotta have faith, though, Buck. Yeah, it is really. They really hit you on the head with that one.
And then they're running through the house, and then it's it must be pretty close to being done. And then they go into the basement for 15 minutes.
Yeah, for another fucking hour. The whole the entire climax takes place between midnight and 6, and you feel it. You really feel it.
I do like that. One of my favorite parts about it is that like it takes like all the tropes that are gonna happen, and then they wink at you. They're like, of course.
Yeah, they're doing like camera takes. They're doing
fucking camera
metaphorical camera takes in this shit. But then like I don't think I fully understand the rules. Roddy McDowell, sorry, because like they don't explain the rules in this movie, but instead they're like, you ever see a vampire? The movie, it's the same rules. And I'm like, okay, but which vampire movie? What rules are we going on? They're like, the old classic vampire rules. Don't worry about it. And then there's like the scene where the vampire bites the girl, and they're like, we have until dawn to kill her master, and then she won't be a vampire anymore. And I'm like, when the fuck did this get established? And why aren't we using it to save Evil Ed? Like, nobody gives a shit about him.
Yeah, what happened to Evil Ed?
Yeah. Oh, dude,
he's just a naked lad.
Yeah, there
should be a scene where Buddy's mom comes home and finds a naked lad.
Yeah, just a fucking dead naked lad. I don't want to give too much away, but that Evil Ed death scene. Oh, it's harrowing, dude.
Wild.
It's really tough.
Well, some of my favorite parts about that movie is they hang too long on shots. So like looking at Roddy McDowell like in terror for like a solid 30 seconds. You're like, is this Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah, and then it's just like, it's seriously the part where, because the Evil Ed character transforms into a dog
for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason, and then gets killed while he's in the dog form. And as he's dying, he transforms back into a person.
It's horrific.
But yeah, it's horrific. But it takes at least 5 minutes of runtime.
Really
yeah, like it's because like they don't actually show the transformation. They just show like the screaming dog. Then they cut to Roddy McDowell, and then they cut back, and it looks slightly less like a dog now than it did in the last shot. And then at one point it's just fucking Evil Ed again and his scary mouth full of fucking teeth. Yeah, but I mean I was surprised, honestly, because like like I said, the first 40-50 minutes I was like, I'm not super into this and I don't really care. But then that last hour,
I like the slow reveal, like when he first stabs him and he turns into a scary monster, and you're like, oh god, what the fuck? Like it seems like a pretty much a comedy, and then they throw in like some just disgusting visual effects, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Like, oh, this bitch watched some Cronenberg films before making this?
Yeah,
or Ace Ventura? I can't tell.
One of Tom Holland's Too Good, or what's his name?
Was it Tom Holland who did that? No, I think Tom Holland. No, it is Tom Holland.
One of his Too Good movies.
Yeah. Well, no, he's got a few gooders. The Mangler. No, that's not Tom Holland.
That's Toby.
That's Tobe. That's Tobe Hooper. Which one was Tom Holland? Was he thinner?
Thinner.
Yeah, thinner. Okay, that one's bad.
So okay, I'll name you the two good ones: Child's Play and Fright Night. What are the good ones? What are the rest of his good movies?
Didn't he make Child's Play Part 2? No. Okay, well then you got me stumped. You got me fucking stumped, dude.
You know what his third build movie is?
What's that? Thinner.
You know what his fourth build movie is?
No.
The Stephen King miniseries Langoliers.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Hey, can we stop making Stephen King miniseries? Enough of that, for sure.
Well, they did stop in the 90s.
No, they didn't, because they just did another one. They did the Under the Dome recently.
That was a TV show. That wasn't a miniseries. I'll give you 11.
Yeah, 1164 or whatever the fuck that's called. 11/12/64. Whatever the fuck that's called. But that one is a miniseries. Under the Dome, I thought it was just a miniseries.
That's a TV show that lasted like
a season and got canceled.
It was supposed to go like 4 seasons.
Oh, yeah. I heard they changed the rules too, and I heard Stephen King was pissed.
Yeah, he doesn't like that stuff.
Yeah, but hey, Stephen King, if you don't like it when they change it, don't sell your exclusive rights all the fucking time, you dumbass. Why do you sell all the rights to it?
I'll tell you why. Because you don't make any money writing books. You know how Stephen King made all those movies? There's 1,000 Stephen King's movies.
Yeah, that's right. I guess that's where all his money comes from. That's why he lives in a fucking Playboy mansion now.
In Bangor, Maine.
He lives in Bangor, Maine's Playboy mansion. So yeah, Fright Night, it's fun. It's fun. Like if on Tuesday night you're like, I gotta watch a horror movie, it's Halloween. Fright Night is almost like, here's the thing, is that Fright Night feels like maybe it could be for kids, but then there's titties in it.
Yeah,
like,
there's titties,
yeah,
like
there's
lots of monster
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, titties, a lot of blood. Like,
Really
I feel like
scary monster
yeah,
stuff.
like it does have like it's more like a Boo haunted house silly Halloween story than it is a horror film. But then there's titties and they say the fuck word, and I'm like, all right, well, could have shown this to kids. Make the
Well, you still can.
yeah, I think you could still show us to kids and just be like, hey son, those are some titties. You're gonna be real into that someday. Just don't worry about it right now. Yeah, just don't worry about it. So yeah, Fright Night, that's a lot of fun. I give that one a 4 on the Chadsky
Dude,
scale.
I loved it. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Holy fuck, dude.
There's literally nothing I would change about it.
Really?
It's so ridiculous.
Not the fucking dry first 45 minutes.
It's not that dry. I was
okay.
on the edge of my seat. I was like, because every time they were gonna like something tropey was gonna happen, they fucking wink at the camera when it happens, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly what I would have made.
That's what we got to
It's
do.
exactly the movie I would have made.
So for our next film, we're going to be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And now this was my favorite movie of the night. I actually seen this movie before.
I don't believe you because you've never seen any movies.
I have. I saw this movie probably like 6 years ago though. So I forgot a lot about it, but you know what I will never forget because it sticks with you? That radio tour scene, dude. That's maybe one of the best scenes in horror.
So good, dude.
Like where he fucking breaks into the radio station and demands a tour. It is so good.
Music is my life, man.
Music's my life, man. Yeah, give it the fucking peace sign, dude. It's really harrowing. What if in the record room? Like, like it's so much fun,
dude. Also, the most horrific rape scene of all time, and it's not even a rape scene; it's a chainsaw scene.
Oh, where he sticks the chainsaw in her pussy.
Yeah,
it's really wild, dude.
Terrific.
And this movie is full of wild stuff like this because, like, for the first 20 minutes, you're like, oh, this isn't gonna be like the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is gonna be like Dennis Hopper doing a fucking noir.
Bring it all down.
Doing a fucking first of all, this is what I love about horror movies is that like fucking almost everybody who acts in a horror movie is terrible at acting, but then every now and again you get like Dennis Hopper just rolling up, giving 150% in every movie he's ever been in. Just like,
I don't necessarily think he's any good in this movie, but he is trying.
He's giving it the old college try because like he's trying less than everyone else and acting twice as good. But like the guy who plays like Drayton Sawyer, that guy's going, dude.
Fucking love
dude,
it.
He's going, and like that's what I think I like so much about this particular one, and I think it's very similar to the first one in the fact that, okay, there's two things. Is that we got the three main villains. All of them are fucking silly and silly for different reasons, and that's why it's a lot of fun.
It's not like the first one at all. This is Toby Hooper was like, I'm going fucking silly as shit.
Yeah,
with this.
He went really silly with it because like what this one is about is that the Sawyer family from the first film.
I would call this a comedy.
Yeah, it's
way
very
more
funny.
Than I'd call it a horror.
They pull a Sweeney Todd and shit. Like they kill people, they chop them up. And then they put them into chili and sell it to people.
But the best is when when he's just like yelling about small businesses and stuff while he's killing people. It's so good.
Yeah, he's talking about taxation. Another thing that I really like about this movie is that I think Tobe Hooper he watched some Dawn of the Dead and then was like, all right, I see what you got going here. That's really cool, but I'm gonna snag Tom Savini and I'm going to give him some money and see what he can do with some money. Turns out he can make some of the most horrific shit you've ever seen.
Fucking when LJ is like all cut up and shit.
Yeah.
LG or whatever his name is.
LG, yeah. That's her. And like Leatherface, of course, always just like so fucking horrifying.
When he puts the fucking face on her.
It's the face on her.
Fucking horrific, dude.
And he's putting the fucking cowboy hat on her and dancing with her. Oh, it's so gross, dude.
I love it.
So like what this movie is that one of the people who were victims in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think it's like his kid was a victim. he's a cop and he's played by Dennis Hopper and he's trying to hunt these people down.
Bring it all down.
Yeah, he's trying to bring it all down. There's an amazing scene where he walks into a chainsaw store and then
that's my favorite scene.
Yeah, yeah, he just walks out.
I've actually talked about that on the show because I remember watching it last year and being like, "Do you remember the chainsaw scene?" I quickly go through it.
Yeah, that's one of my maybe one of my favorite scenes. This is actually probably one of my favorite horror sequels. Maybe I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah,
because I think
it's not a horror movie.
No, yeah,
the thing. This is it's a grotesque.
It's grotesque. Yeah, it's absolutely horrifying.
A pure comedy, essentially.
But as much as I absolutely love it for its silliness and its wildness,
it's a parody of his own work, which I love.
Yeah, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Fundamentally, it's not that good of a movie.
No, it's not. It's structured fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's structured fucking horrible because the first 20 minutes is this girl playing wild music on the radio. Then there's 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of the wild, awesome radio tour scene.
Yeah,
and then they're in a cave for an hour. It's just an hour of them in a cave, and then they go to the dinner table, which is maybe one of my favorite scenes ever. There's a lot of scenes in this movie where I don't think I like the ending. I don't like the ending very much.
Why?
I mean, why don't I like the ending? That's a good question. Now, this movie's obviously pretty old, so we can give it away. Essentially, she just climbs up the tower, and then I think it's because there's some satisfaction that's sort of taken away because the Drayton Sawyer character kills himself with a grenade. Mm-hmm. And I just think given the entire movie and the buildup, I was sort of expecting him to get chainsawed to death. And I was really kind of looking forward to that, oh, this dude's going to get his head. Maybe even Dennis Hopper will get his head chopped off with a chainsaw. Somebody's gotta.
Sure.
That being said, I would love a t-shirt that has the chainsaw battle on it. Between Dennis Hopper and Leatherface.
I want a shirt that says "Kill that bitch, Bubba."
Kill that bitch, Bubba. Did you get that bitch? Yeah.
That bitch, Bubba.
Kill that bitch, Bubba.
Dude, fucking Leatherface is so good in this.
Yeah,
movie.
Leatherface is great in this movie.
Can you do a little Leatherface dance? You think?
Do the Leatherface dance? Yeah. Hold on, I can probably do it. If you're not watching on YouTube, you should head over to YouTube to check out this Leatherface dance. He's what he's like.
Oh, you gotta get the hands up. Hands up. When he has the chainsaw, you gotta get the hands up.
Oh yeah.
There we go. There's the Leatherface. Oh, that's a lot of fun.
I wasn't going to throw the sound effects, but I'm I'm already up here.
Yeah, you're already up there.
Yeah, but it's so much fun. And here's the thing about this series as a whole. The hippie brother is the best character in the whole fucking series. And in this one, they knew it. So they're we're going to have him be in it more than Leatherface.
Yeah.
He's in it way more than Leatherface because he's so there's
that guy that plays him is also great.
He's so good. He's so good at playing that character. There's 20 minutes where he's just screaming about flashbacks. It's so much fun. And I think that's where this movie goes right. It's not scary. It's not scary. It's not even close to being a horror film. It's very far from the original story, which at this point we're pretty far away from anyways. Mm-hmm. That was something I was going to talk about when talking about Leatherface, but I don't even know if it matters. I don't think it fucking matters because the original story, who gives a shit anymore, right? Who cares?
I like while we were at these screenings during Fright Night, a lot of laughs. People were loving it. This movie, people were literally crying with laughter.
Yeah, dude, people were losing it, dude, clapping at shit. They were having a hate. I think of all the ones that we saw, the audience had the most fun with this one. And I agree. This is the best one that we saw about last night. I know you liked Fright Night a lot, but I honestly think Texas Chainsaw 2, which is realistically shouldn't be a good movie.
Maybe it's just because I've seen it a million times. So
that's true. And the last time I saw it, like I said, I was in college. It must have been 6 years ago that I fucking saw this movie. So it's probably a product of that I had so much goddamn fun with it. Because you've seen this one recently, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of months ago.
It was close enough that I didn't want to watch it again. But
But then you're like, oh shit, I forgot about Hippie Brother.
Well, I do like Hippie Brother.
Hippie Brother is the best shit ever.
So my life, man.
Heading on over to the Chadsky scale, I give this bitch a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 on the Chadsky scale.
Is that official?
That's an official.
That's an official 4 out of 5 on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Now, while we're on the topic, let's jump into Leatherface. This came out on the 23rd of this month. Last Friday. This is the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Tobe Hooper has nothing to do with this one because
he's dead.
Rest in peace. The movie was done before he died. Let's be real for a second.
No way he watched it.
Oh, I hope he didn't, because I would be really glad to hear that Tobe Hooper didn't see the decimation of his own legacy before he passed on, because this is maybe the worst movie we watched in Spooky-tober. This is way worse than The Mangler. This is way worse than Thinner. I'd much rather watch Thinner and The Mangler, dude. And this one actually is an hour and 22 minutes, so at least it's short.
So short, but also this took me 4 days to watch.
It feels so
4 days.
long.
That means I was watching it in 20-minute increments, and guess what? I still could barely get through it.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. So
people like this movie.
Hey, here's the thing called Leatherface. Guess what? It's not about Leatherface at all. At all.
Call it Leatherface.
Yeah, call it fucking. What they already made that one that was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. Hey, they already made that. Don't make this one. Don't go further back. Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna show me Leatherface before he did anything? Oh, you're gonna show me Leatherface as a nice young boy? I don't think I fucking care. I don't give a shit.
Throw Steven Dorff in there. Hey,
yeah.
What else? He's not doing anything.
He's got nothing.
Remember when he was making those commercials for the blue cigarette thing, where he'd be on a beach and he'd be like, "You gotta be cool. You gotta smoke blue cigarettes," and it's like, get the fuck out of here.
weren't those like mini vaporizer
they were like
cigarettes?
Vape before vape was popular.
Yeah, but they came in like they looked like they were cigarettes, but they were like little vape tubes.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that's what I feel like they're called, like Vapor Wave or something like that.
Either way, it made your throat bleed. Those things all made your throat bleed. Vapes make your throat bleed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like dude, you can tell me your vape tricks are cool all you want as your throat's bleeding.
Yesterday I was at a train station, and this fucking dude, like, yesterday was the Saturday before Halloween, so like downtown was just fucking insane. Just
almost people wearing masks and shit. I was terrified.
I'm glad that you gave me a lift home after the
no
thing,
shit, dude.
I think I would have got shanked for sure. I was in a fucking suit, which in retrospect was probably not a good idea to wear a suit in downtown Calgary at fucking 3 a.m.
That's why we just got in a car and fucked off.
Yeah, we got in a car and fucked off. What was I saying? Right. Okay. So I was at the train station, and this dude in I don't remember what kind of I don't even think I could identify the costume. It was just something silly. He was vaping, and then he had a beer bong, and he would blow the vape out of the beer bong, and it would fucking come out the beer bong into people's faces and shit. Dude, I was pissed.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude. Young college kids they find the dumbest shit entertaining. So that's what that. But here we are talking about fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and how great it is. So maybe we're not ones to talk. So let's talk about Leatherface. So about 15 minutes into this movie, you're gonna say, "What the fuck?" Because the first 15 minutes is like the kid, right? Mm-hmm. You have Leatherface as a kid, and he's tricking people into falling into like Team Rocket from Pokemon style holes where they like covered it up with leaves and shit and like amputating them. A lot of fun, I guess. And then Drayton's there. Okay, so Drayton Sawyer is in this movie, but like after the first 15 minutes, he's just not in it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So what was the main character's name? Like the one, because they do a switcheroo on you, which is what fucking pisses me off so much about this movie, is that his name was Jackson. That's what it is. Okay. So you got Jackson, he's the main kid, and then you got Bud, who's his fat retarded brother, and you're like, oh, obviously his fat retarded brother is going to become Leatherface.
Mm-hmm. From what you know of Leatherface.
Yeah, from what he's a big fat retarded guy, you know, and that's what you assume is going to happen. And then they're like, oh no. We're actually going to take this at an angle that doesn't make any fucking sense, and we're going to kill off the fat guy, and then we're going to make the main guy, who, as far as I'm concerned, was able-bodied and minded the entire movie, get him shot in the face by a cop, which doesn't even hit his brain, so it couldn't even like affect him that way, and then turn him into Leatherface. That's a sin. That's a mortal sin. That's the dumbest thing you could do, because like, you look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, right? The one that we just watched. Okay, there's the scene where Leatherface is like trying to dance with the lady in the cowboy hat. No able-minded person would do that.
To be fair, Texas Chainsaw 2 is not canon.
What? How?
Because all the other ones are just sequels to the first one. No, there's been no sequels to 2 because everyone dies at the end.
Mistake, dude. Mistake. I mean, I guess there's nothing you can do because Bubba didn't die in number 2.
Yes, he did.
Did he? Get grenaded?
Everybody dies. It's unspecific, but everybody dies.
Yeah, you see the explosion, and I guess you can
just pull anything. Like fucking, we'll talk about when we get to Freddy. You can just pull anything and have another fucking have your people come back. But most, I would say, all of the other sequels are just sequels to the first one because 2 is weird and not.
Yeah. So like in this one, like it's immediately not fun because like, it's just them having dinner as a family, and you're like, okay, well,
Lily Taylor is good in this movie.
Billy Taylor, who does he play?
Lily Taylor.
Oh yeah, the mom. Yeah, she is good. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You know what I hate though?
What's that?
When these fucking low budget movies try and pass off the American South in Bulgaria or somewhere.
Yeah,
like you look like you're in Europe. Everything you got.
They're like running through the fucking hills like later in the movie.
Yo, you got all these side actors and they all have weird accents because they're all from fucking Bulgaria. But I have this problem too with the Wrong Turn movies also, because like after the first 3, they just start shooting them in Estonia and shit. Yeah. And like everybody has a weird accent. You're like, well, they would have Southern accents because they're from this movie shot in they're supposed to be set in West Virginia. Or whatever.
Too expensive.
And it's expensive. Like, hello there. You where to kill?
Hey, just make more Leprechaun movies. It's fucking dirt cheap to film in Ireland. Who gives a shit? It's like they wanted to make this movie confusing because they're like, okay,
you know where they shot the last couple Leprechauns?
Where's that?
Toronto.
Like Leprechaun Origins?
Like the Hood ones, and I think Leprechaun Origins, that was shot in like Manitoba or something. They shoot in Canada.
Hey, you know what? They should have shot it in like Nova Scotia.
Guess what Manitoba doesn't look like?
Ireland? Doesn't look like fucking. I just filmed it in Ireland.
That shit.
Like, wouldn't it be cheaper to film it in Ireland? Like, I can't imagine it's expensive.
I think shooting in Canada is one of the cheapest things you can do.
I guess that's why every movie that takes place in New York is filmed in Vancouver
or Toronto.
But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. It's like they wanted to make this movie as confusing as possible. So they're like, okay, 10 minutes into the movie, we're going to give all of the main characters 2 names. It's like, okay, what the fuck? Because his name's Jackson, but he's got another name. It's like Colm or something like that. Ike. No, there is an Ike, but he also has another name, which I think because no, the guy who was Ike, his name was Isaac, but they called him Ike for short, but they never said that. So sometimes they call him Ike and sometimes they call him Isaac. And I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, the main character had a different name, and then they called him Jackson, and then Bud was Bubba, and then they changed that to Bud. And don't do that. Like, you got 80 minutes, and you're confusing me already. Because like, as soon as we go to the youth reformatory, and then there's just like a kid named Jackson, and which they don't explain that it's the kid from the beginning of the movie until like 10 minutes later. It just feels like nonsense.
They make you work for it, and like you're not earning that.
No, yeah, you're not earning that with your superior writing skills. You gotta meet me halfway.
Are you Stanley Kubrick? I don't want to work for it if it's a fucking movie about Leatherface.
Another thing that's weird too is
don't call it Leatherface. It's not about that.
It's not about Leatherface at all, which is of course the biggest problem. But there's also the weird thing that like, the Lily James character, she had 2 of her kids taken away at the beginning of the movie, and then like when she comes to see them in the reformatory, she only cares about the one. And I'm like, what the fuck? You have 2 kids in here. She's like, I want to see Colm. I don't think his name was actually Colm. It's just like
maybe it was Colm.
Like, yeah, she's like, I want to see Colm, and they're like, no, you know what? It was something really Southern. I'm trying to remember what this fucking kid's name was now, because it's something that's like super Southern. It's like it's something like biblical, maybe like Isaiah or something like that.
Oh, that was the other one.
Was it? No, there was Isaac, aka Ike, and then because I gotta look this up because it's gonna fucking wig me out until I figure out what this kid's name was. No, they're not gonna tell me. He's just listed as Jackson, dude. Oh, I'm pissed now. I'm super pissed now. So yeah, I don't know. It's something super Southern. It was probably a biblical name. I feel like it was something with a C, but it wasn't Bubba, which it should have been. Bubba. Hey, yeah, Bubba. But like, I know that if they had called him Bubba, then it would have given away that he was Leatherface right away. And I like that's supposed to be the twist, right? Mm-hmm. That the big fat guy isn't Leatherface, and that the normal looking teen lad was Leatherface.
Sure.
Who cares?
Don't give a shit.
Fucking cares, dude.
They tried to do callbacks, and then like the chick that's like all scarred up that he was banging.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was that? What was that?
She's a derivative character from one of the other ones, but then they fucked her up and made her not anything like it.
Yeah, so. They made it not fun. That being said, there is one scene in this movie that's like kind of fun, and that's the scene where they rob the diner. Kind of fun.
Nah, I wouldn't even give it that. Anyway, this is a half star on the Chadsky scale.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is a fucking half star film. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Definitely the worst movie we saw. Which is funny because I neglected to give Annabelle Creation the Pumpkin King crown last week because I'm like, oh, we'll have to wait and see.
You said, what if Leatherface is good?
What if Leatherface is good?
Going to be good.
And it's 8 hours and it feels like 80, dude. Or no, it's
well, it's not that
80 obviously. Minutes. It feels like 80 hours.
Sure.
It's fucking horrible, dude. It's fucking terrible. Yeah. It's also like just one more thing that I want to throw in because it's just like something I got. It's edited like an episode of like what's that? Philip DeFranco's show, whatever that is. It's edited like that where it's got the weird fucking cuts from like like it'll show Leatherface's face. And that's like the shot. And then there'll be a weird cut, but it's still on Leatherface's face, but his head's in a different place now. Like it's fucking terrible. Like I can't believe somebody looked at this and was like, yep, finish film, get it through the works. It's
tough. It's tough out there.
I mean, it looks as good as a C budget horror film could look, I think.
It's hard to make films, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It does boil down to that because like we do got to respect the craft, right? Like somebody put like 6 months of their life into this.
Occasionally, you could see in this like you could see like that kind of they're French guys, so it's like you could see that kind of French filmmaking, especially with the use of shadows and stuff. But it's also like, go fuck yourself. This like clearly you speak no English because this script makes no sense.
Script makes no sense, and I'm gonna take a wild stab and say. You never seen the other Texas Chainsaw
Just
movies.
Like I don't know who else was a French person who made an awesome movie? Whoever the fuck made Raw.
Yeah, Raw's awesome.
Just watch Raw.
I'm trying. That's a lady who made that movie. I'm trying to remember what her name is.
Yeah.
You know who else is fucking French and is good? Isn't Anna Lillian Poor French as fuck, or is she something else? She's also
she's
fucking
Iranian.
Awesome. She's Iranian. Okay, but she's also awesome. But I guess that's not relevant to my point. So that's Leatherface, fucking half star on the Chadsky scale.
It's the worst
fucking
thing.
Horrible, dude. So then we go into my 4th beer of the night. I'm pretty trashed at this point.
Oh, you thrashed up?
I'm pretty thrashed up at this point, and we don't decide. Globe Cinemas decides that we are watching Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch.
Now, I had never seen this movie. You always talk about how it's like one of the best movies, like best horror films, horror sequels that you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It's not a about anything, though.
What do you mean? It's about a fucking scheme to destroy the world, and he succeeds.
Yeah, it's pretty.
What do you mean it's not about anything? It's about everything.
No, it's definitely about that, but like it's mostly just like a porn stash guy just running around.
Dude, he's my favorite because it's like he's supposed to be charming, but also almost as ugly as Michael Shannon. Why are you pulling so many bitches?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this a James Bond movie? And why is he fucking so many?
And then there's like that scene where he's fucking the chick and he's got like all that back acne. And you're like, why is this guy the lead of this movie?
So you know what threw me off so much about this movie? Is that you told me it had nothing to do with Halloween, but in my mind I was like, oh, it's got to have something to do with Halloween. Nothing.
No, it's a fucking Twilight Zone episode.
It shouldn't be called Halloween 3. It should have nothing to do with Halloween because as a standalone film, it's great. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's what they're trying to do with Cloverfield now. This was John Carpenter's envision of a horror universe.
Yeah.
Before you could do that, which is why
before
next
anyone
one
thought to do that.
Yeah, which is because he had a lot to do with this. John Carpenter. He still did the score. He still had
John Carpenter did the score on this one.
He still had a lot to do with how it was written and stuff and how it was portrayed. And then they're like, well, this didn't do any money, so we have to go back to the scary monster Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I'm sorry, to make $0 on this shit.
Because when you go into Halloween 3, you're expecting after Myers, 2 times of Michael Myers stabbing people, like maybe he shows up at the factory, but no, it's a fucking Stonehenge.
Yeah, it's
what
a fucking Stonehenge, and they're using alien technology to vaporize children's heads and turn them into snake monsters. Like stuff. What? It's the most insane movie.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's just like it starts off pretty slow, and you're like, all right, it's sort of like a mystery film. I like where this is going. It's like it's very Scooby-Doo-esque for the first little bit. Then they start melting kids' heads and stuff, and you're like, oh, this is pretty grim.
It's a misfire.
And then when you think it couldn't get any wilder, guess what? Half the people in the movie are fucking robots.
Way wilder.
Half the people in the movie are fucking robots.
And you're running through a fucking James Bond set underground base.
Yeah.
What?
What is this movie? It's so crazy. It's really fucking insane. I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as you do. I do think it's good. I think that maybe it looks like shit for the most part. You got the silly blue lasers and they don't look too good.
Well, since when have you cared what horror movies look like?
Yeah, that's a good point. I just went on about how Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is one of my favorite films. Yeah, I don't know. It is good. It is like, this is a very good movie. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Halloween franchise, and I like this way more than the other two that I saw.
Well, it's a standalone movie. It's fucking unbelievable.
And I know why they called it Halloween 3, right? Is that they want to capitalize on it. And they almost want to trick you into thinking this is what this movie's going to be about and Michael Myers is going to be in it. And then you get there, you're expecting it. And then they're like, oh, well, instead of doing the Michael Myers thing, we're going to turn this movie all in its fucking head and make it insanely wild. And at that point, you don't even give a shit. He's not there anymore, right? At that point, you don't give a shit. But like, It has
my favorite part about it is that they're in a universe where Halloween 1 exists because it's always on TV.
Yeah, they're playing it on TV a lot. Yeah, it's like the human centipede effect, which I will now call the Halloween effect. I mean, I used to call that human centipede effect, but now it's the Halloween effect for sure. Yeah. So like this guy, he goes to this Irish town, this Irish town in the middle of California.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. What the fuck? And
covered in cameras, which I love.
Covered in cameras, CCTV.
Just fucking scary robots standing around.
I feel like there's a lot of CCTV going on in Ireland, though. Yeah, so I feel like it's pretty accurate.
That's a UK thing. Like every corner in London has a camera.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all CCTV'd. We all should be, honestly.
Well,
yeah, a lot less crime, a lot less privacy.
No, can't wait. Not really. Not that much less crime.
But. Yeah, so they go to this factory to investigate the death of her father because a robot killed her father by fucking
Smashed his head.
Smashed his head in. There's also like a scene
that's
where
the robot's favorite move, where they just crush the person's head.
Yeah, well, like they go through the eye sockets, right? And they have a lot of fun doing that.
They love it.
There's a scene where they got the guy pinned against a car and they just fucking rip his head straight off. That's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. It's pretty violent for a movie that shouldn't be violent.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. It's clearly an R-rated film, pretty violent, and despite the fact that they're given plenty of opportunity, no titties.
No titties.
No titties. So close though.
Real close.
Like so close. He goes to take off the bra, but then his head's in the way. It's like, come on, you gotta let me see the titties.
Greasy hair.
Yeah. But the scenes basically where they get into the factory and on fucking masterpiece. Yeah. Like it's so much fun.
When he's running through it, and then he's like starts climbing on top of the place.
Yeah. And he's like kicking the robots and shit. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I'm sorry. She's so loud.
Oh, it's a moment of meow.
Oh, is that a moment of meow?
That's pretty close.
She's coming down. She's coming down to be on the pod. Head on over to punchnerds.com. You can check out a cat. Nope, she's sleeping behind you. You can't see it anymore.
That's fine.
Too late. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think this one's fine. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, we haven't even talked about the ending though, because
oh yeah, the ending.
Where his girlfriend's a robot.
Yeah, it turns out his girlfriend's a robot, because I'm like, when they start revealing that people are robots, I'm like, well, at least these main two are real people. And it's like, oh, except they ain't.
And they're not. And then you're like, well, that's a fun climax. And then you keep going, and there's more.
Yeah. You keep going through it, and then like
where the commercial plays anyway.
Yeah, he calls and is like, you can't play it. It's gonna kill everybody. And then they're like, we're gonna play it, and they fucking play it, and then the movie just stops.
Wonderful.
It's a pretty good ending, dude. Yeah,
3 maybe.
Yeah, maybe toss in a couple more. It might be 5 or 6.
Well, when they kill the guy with
where they kill him.
The circle of blue.
I love when they kill like the main guy whose name is Cochran. They kill the main guy and he's like, "Well done, sir!" Right before his head explodes. He's like, "Bravo, clapping. My friend."
You were laughing hard at that.
Yeah, dude, I was laughing. Connell Cochran is maybe one of my favorite characters.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's really great. Really good villain in horror canon for sure.
The Randy Quaid type character.
Yeah,
that shows up as like the #1 salesman.
Yeah, I love that guy.
That guy's
dude.
Awesome. And he just like kills his entire family and like doesn't bat an eye. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so good. I like that when his kid's like head melts, he's like, he doesn't even give a shit about his wife. He's just trying to get out himself. What a wild man.
Yeah, what a wild man.
Is that actually Randy Quaid, or is it just like
it's a derivative Randy Quaid.
It just might be Randy Quaid, but isn't.
It seems like like a role he'd play though.
Yeah. Hey, let's get can we get a remake on Season of the Witch?
So I think it's due for it.
Yeah, I think it's due. Because they redid Halloween 1 and 2, didn't they? Or maybe just 1. Well, they reimagined it, I guess.
They made 2 of them. Rob Zombie made 2 of them.
Was there 2? I knew there was 2 of one of those series that they rebooted, but I didn't know if it was.
Yeah, there's 2. The second one's like a prequel though.
I thought maybe it was they made 2 of the Nightmare on Elm Street.
I don't know why you're arguing with me with this, because it's
fact.
Definitely Halloween 1 and 2 by Rob Zombie. And
okay, all right.
I think there was 1.
All right, I'll let it be. Doesn't Michael Bay have something to do with that too?
I don't know.
He's got his greasy fingers all over that shit. But yeah. It's a good movie. I give it a 3.5 on the Chadsky scale. It's a lot of fun.
5 on the Chadsky scale.
I knew you were gonna pump out a 5 on this bitch. It is a lot of fun.
It's a particular brand of madness that I love.
Yeah, because like
like Fright Night.
As soon as you find out everybody's robots, that's when the movie's like, oh,
it's shit. It's not really a horror movie. This is a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi thriller.
Really weird, dude.
So then the last movie we saw before we fucked off was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Dream Master.
Yeah,
I saw like 65% of this movie for sure.
You're falling asleep there.
Yeah, I was drifting
nodding
in
off
and out.
A bit.
Yeah, I was nodding off.
That's
for
a
sure.
little scary. You fall asleep during a Freddy Krueger movie, right?
Yeah, I know that. There's the irony, right?
The screen. That's why I couldn't fall asleep. I'm like, what if he comes out of the screen?
I'm like falling asleep, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Don't fall asleep," and I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You talking to me? You talking to me, bitch?
I'm concerned about any city where 15 teenagers can die in like 3 weeks and there's no investigation or anything.
Nah, but bats an eye.
Everybody's like, yeah, just a lot of accidents here. It's like something's happening.
They're like, it's just the annual 15 kids die. This is probably the worst movie we saw this night.
I would agree.
It's not bad.
It's not that bad, but it's also bad. Like I'm not even really a Nightmare on Elm Street fan.
See, I
don't really like them that much.
I like Nightmare a lot.
I think it's a great concept that they continually fuck up.
They just can't stick the landing because like the first one's a masterpiece.
Yeah, the first one's good. It's like, how do you fuck that up? It's a guy that kills people in your dreams, so don't fall asleep. Terrifying.
I know.
And then guess what? Yeah. Just continue to fuck it up.
Here's how you fuck it up. Put him on a beach and give him sunglasses.
Well, that's awesome. That was the best scene. I was laughing my ass off.
Loved it. That is the best scene in the movie where she dreams that she's on a beach and then all of a sudden Freddy Krueger rolls up and puts on his sunnies and stuff like that. That's a lot of fun. Boiler room stuff is like, okay,
don't give a shit.
Seen this already. We're just gonna see kids.
I also didn't see the previous one, so I have no idea who the characters are. But guess what? They all die, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen number 3, but they are the main, like the 3 characters that are in the beginning of this movie are the main characters from number 3.
Black lad.
Yeah, the black lad, the skinny lad, who's like I don't think his name was Justin, but he looks like it might be named Justin. You know what I'm saying?
It was something weirder, like Yondish or something.
Well, the black guy was named Roland.
Roland and Yondish, I think.
Roland and Yondish, yeah. You know what's funny though is that all 3 of those characters die, like Kristen, Yondish, as we call them, and Roland. But then like after the murders, it shows like the graves and it just shows Roland and Kristen. They don't give a fucking care.
There was no gravestone for Yondish.
Yeah, no gravestone. Maybe he got cremated. Who knows?
Well, he's probably Jewish because his name is Yondish.
So. Yeah, that's true. It's a very Jew name. I feel like I have relatives named Yondish, pretty Jewish. But yeah, then it becomes about a whole new set of characters who are friends with Kristen, and they're not interesting.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're not that interesting. You got
they immediately kill off most of them anyway.
Yeah, they got generic.
I like the boyfriend. Black nerd. I thought she was fun, and then immediately.
Yeah, she was the first one to die, and she was the most fun. She was the most fun. She mind over matter and like saying lots of fun stuff.
Cool glasses. I kind of wanted to order them when I got home. I was like, give me those black girl glasses.
And like her like teenage story arc was the most fun because it was just like the workout girl trying to convince her that fucking dudes is all that matters. Yeah. She's like, all you want to do is fuck a dude.
Gotta fuck a dude and work out.
Dude. And she's like, nah, I just kind of want to graduate. She's like, nah, you gotta fuck a dude.
Probably fuck dude.
Probably fuck dudes. Yeah. So yeah, that one is a lot of fun. There is fun sequences in this movie because Freddy
you know what's my favorite scene?
What's that?
When the fucking dude's just doing Japanese fucking
the
judo
taekwondo,
kicks and shit. I was like, what is this?
There's no reason for
it. The 80s, was this 90s?
I think it was 93.
Dude, early 90s, late 80s, they were so into that Kumite ass, blood sport ass shit where they would just fucking Karate Kid, where they just throw this shit in there all the time, where it's like a white guy with a Japanese flag doing fucking karate in his garage.
Have you ever seen a family comedy film from 1995? Because in every single one, they say, we got to get Jason to karate practice real quick. Everybody fucking doing karate in the 90s, dude. My brother's
martial arts.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit.
It was a big thing in the 90s.
Well, it's because kids like the Ninja Turtles and kids like the Power Rangers are like, I want to be like
those. Discipline.
I want to be like those boys over there. You know,
people do more
UFC,
jiu-jitsu type things now. I think.
Yeah, people want to be
like there's less. For a taekwondo type thing, I think there's less practical use to that than knowing how to choke someone out. So
yeah, I mean, I guess I would agree with that. So there is a lot of there's some great stuff in this, but it starts to drag And then it just becomes like him killing the kids one after the other.
Dude,
which
when
is
they
what
get
these
stuck
always,
in that Groundhog Day loop, I was gonna fucking kill myself.
Oh my god, yeah, they get stuck in the Groundhog Day loop where they show the same scene, like, and I guess that it's part of the screenplay actually, but it's also lazy filmmaking where she runs out and she's like, "I'm driving, get in the car," and then they drive to the house, they get out, and then suddenly they come out from behind the corner. "I'm driving, get in the car." Drive to the fucking house, get out, come around the corner. "I'm driving, get in the fucking car." If I had to hear it one more time, I was going to lose my mind. And like the funny part about it is that they realize they're in a Groundhog Day loop. They're like, "Oh no, we're in a Groundhog Day loop. I'm driving, get in the car."
Yikes.
Yeah, that's a
one scene I really like though is that one where she was in the movie theater and she gets sucked in.
Yeah, that's really cool.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's almost pandering to people exactly like us, 100%. And I think like the scene where the end fight where he fights her in the church is kind of fun, but all of a sudden she absorbs everybody's
yeah, now you OP.
Yeah, it's like it is like
all these kids died, dude. So many kids died. A lot of child death.
Oh, and here's the problem is that like the entire movie, they are sort of hinging on the nursery rhyme. There's like a little nursery rhyme about the Dream Master or whatever. And in the Dream Master, it's like, you can kill the devil with his reflection. And so she's like, "Ooh, I can kill him with a reflection." Oh, yeah. Literally shows him a mirror and he explodes. Not how that works.
Not great content.
Yeah, not a very good way to look. Here's the thing. You killed the man so many times at this point.
Well, they just bring him back like it's nothing. A dog just starts pissing fire, and all of a sudden, fucking Freddy's back, and he's like, "I'm back, bitch!" And it's like, don't care.
He's back. He's fighting Jason Voorhees this time.
England, don't care.
Yeah, Robert.
Don't care.
Robert Englund's awesome though.
Yeah,
like
awesome,
I love this character so much.
Don't care.
I do. I also love
free conch, man. You don't care.
I think for every Nightmare on Elm Street movie, they add in one more scene where Robert Englund calls a teenage girl a bitch. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you, bitch."
Bitch.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
He loves saying it.
Yeah, he loves saying it. So that's when we fucking packed up because we were pretty.
It was going downhill.
Yeah, we were going downhill. We were gonna crash, and then we might have been escorted out. And I didn't want that. That's embarrassing.
We did knock off some pizza, which really brought me back to life.
Oh yeah, they ordered fucking Papa J's and then asked for $4 a slice, which is for sure too much.
Also,
but was so
hungry, my life. So saved my life.
Fucking spent $16 on 4 slices of pizza, and it was gone in 90 seconds.
Bless you.
Yeah,
it saved my life.
Yeah, we didn't die. We didn't die that night, thank God. So
a lot of fun. Then we got in a car and drove away.
Yeah, we got in a car, we drove away, and we never looked back. I'm glad we did it. It was a really fun experience. I wouldn't take it back for a second. I had fully intended, I was almost like, oh, if we don't stay for the whole thing, I'm going to be disappointed. But I'm just not. I'm just kind of glad that we didn't die.
It was $20. So that's like
the price of a film.
Yeah, it's like one movie, and we saw 4. So
and there was free Red Bull,
kiwi flavored. Not my favorite.
Yeah, because like the problem with the Red Bull too is that like I drank it once I started getting fatigued, not realizing that Red Bull takes like an hour and 10 to kick in.
Yeah, so by the time I was home,
I was fucking like, stark awake.
I got another hour left of me. I'll listen to this new last podcast on left. Shout out to them boys.
I had some fuel in me, dude. I had some fuel.
And then I had to be somewhere in the morning, so I slept for like 3-4 hours.
I woke up at 10 feeling like the shittiest garbage.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad news bears.
But I knew I had to watch The Shining.
That's some bad news bears. Chatley didn't even watch. Chatley thought we were supposed to record this episode yesterday. You thought you could get away without watching it, you son of a biscuit.
No, I didn't. We were going to record it today no matter what.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yesterday, like after the thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I've seen The Shining 9 million times, but I am glad that I rewatched it because I do have some new points of view on it. But before we talk about The Shining, let's talk about 1922.
1922.
Based on a Stephen King novel. It's pretty good.
I liked it.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's fine.
Not as good as Gerald's Game, but I think it's still like pretty fun. These kind of like not quite as supernatural types.
Yeah, it's almost similar to like, because like Stephen King loves this time period, dude. Early 1920s. Like I believe like Green Mile is in that era as well. Shawshank Redemption.
Don't care about those movies.
Yeah, they're not even scary. What the fuck? Who gives a shit? But it's like 15 minutes. Like I feel like the first 15 minutes struggles a little bit.
Maybe a little long. It might be too long.
Yeah, because it's what, like 2 hours? It's about 2 hours, maybe a little less, maybe like an hour 50. But it is a little long for what it is. But like the first 15 minutes, it's like this guy just like arguing with his wife, and you're like, oh, I didn't know Stephen King wrote a domestic period drama. What the fuck?
Thing is, though, he wrote a lot of them.
Yeah, that's true. He's just written so much stuff at this point.
And at some point, like, it's just like you think back on your life and like all those like short notes you've taken. That's like what Stephen King bangs out in a half hour.
Well, and I think one of the bigger problems of this movie is that because the 1922 property has the Stephen King name on it, they do almost try to pass it off as a horror movie, just like in editing and stuff.
Well, rats
like,
are scary.
Yeah, the rats are kind of scary, but like
not as scary as Thomas Jane doing an accent.
There's like horror stingers in this movie, and I'm like, don't edit it like this, like just because it's Stephen King. Yeah, like you don't got to do it. You don't got to do it like this. It is a very good movie. It's very riveting. So what this movie essentially is about is this farmer and his year 1922. Essentially, his wife inherited the land that he farms on from her father, and she says that she wants to sell it. So instead of selling it, he kills her so he can keep the land and give it to his son. And he gets his son to help him kill her.
Crazy.
Yeah. They come up with like a bunch of really neat plans to cover it up too, right? And they're really smart about it. And I think that's the stuff I like the most about the movie. And then once that's done, it's just Tom Jane farming for a bit. Like it really does just show him farming for a bit. And then some new conflict comes in, which is super interesting, like with his kid getting the last pregnant and his kid dealing with his own dealt. Yeah, me too. It's nothing. I don't think this movie's anything groundbreaking or anything, but it is a lot of fun. I think
it's a well-made movie, which surprised me. Maybe.
Yeah. It looks better than I thought it would. Like a lot of where does this take place? I want to say Maine, but that's not right. I think it's Texas.
Is it the one non-Maine?
Yeah, it might not be in Maine. Yeah, maybe like Alabama or Oklahoma, maybe.
Maybe.
Because they mentioned Omaha. Isn't that in Oklahoma?
Nebraska.
Okay. Yeah.
Omaha,
yeah, you're right.
Nebraska.
Omaha is in Nebraska. I believe you're correct on that. And so they cover up that they murdered this lass, and then it sort of just becomes about the two characters sort of wrestling with their own guilt.
Yeah.
The kid is wrestling with the guilt of killing his mother, and the dad is wrestling with the guilt of alienating his son. And it's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Or it would be interesting if you could hear a fucking word Tom Jane was saying. That is the biggest problem,
TV, dude. It's huge.
Yeah. What?
Your TV, it's huge. Turn it up. Turn up the volume on it.
Yeah. But
it's good. Netflix, it's got subtitles, dude.
Yeah, I know. But I shouldn't have to turn on subtitles if it's in English.
That's Jeff Bridges. If Jeff Bridges decides you need to turn on your subtitles. So.
I also disagree with that as well. I hate when Jeff Bridges is in fucking movies, dude. I'm pissed that he's in that fucking Ebbing, Missouri movie or whatever, because that movie looks pretty good, and I don't want to have to fucking turn on subs because especially because what if I go into, I know 1922 was on Netflix, but what if I went to a theater?
Oh, you can't hear that.
You can't go to it, dude. You can't go to the fucking theater and listen to Tom Jane.
Why is this Jeff Bridges movie tanking in theaters? And because no one can hear what the fuck he's saying.
We're waiting for it to come to Netflix so we can turn on those automatic subs.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not dealing with Bane anymore. We've done that shit.
But I also think the problem with Tom Jane's also not that good of an actor. I don't think.
Good, but I also don't think he's whenever I see him in something, I'm not usually that mad about it.
Yeah, no, I'm never pissed. I'm never like, oh fuck, Tom Jane's in this. Who gives a shit? But part of why you can't understand him isn't just because it sounds like he's got a mouthful of marbles because he's doing the silly accent. But if you watch his lips, the movie, barely move. They barely move. They're like, oh, Tom Jane, I'm out here on the farm taking out the trash and mess. It's like, hey, could you speak up, sir? Could you enunciate a little bit so that I can understand what's going on in this film? And that is the movie's big problem. Around that, however, is a really interesting plot about wrestling with guilt, and
I think it does that very well.
Yes, absolutely. And I also like the personification of guilt in the rats, right? Rats. Because they're a constant reminder of what they've done, and like it's obviously all mental and hypothetical, but it's really great.
Yeah, rats really are scary. Not as scary as Satan, but they rank up there pretty high.
One thing that I would mention about this movie too, though, is that it's narrated by Tom Jane as an older man writing his will, and it starts like that. It starts with him. He's like, "Oh, the year is 1930, and I'm gonna write my will."
Obviously, it was 1922 because it's the title of the movie.
Yeah. Well, no. The beginning of the movie, it's 1930.
Okay.
And then he's like, yeah. So then it says fucking Omaha 1930. He's like, all right. So back in the year 1922. And because he's narrating it.
Was it really 8 years ago?
Yeah. He looks way older than that. He looks way older. But yes, it was 1930.
I don't know where you're getting this 1930 from.
It's in the fucking movie. Bruh, did you watch film?
Guess I can't really hear what Thomas Jane was saying because I heard nothing about 1930.
Oh, well, yeah, it is 1930.
Okay.
It is 1930.
I guess they didn't live as long back then. They were dying in the winter all the time.
Also, I think guilt would probably eat you up. And if 8 years later you're not dead, you're just going to take your life. So
rest in peace.
So because Tom Jane is narrating the entire film from 8 years later, there's a lot of points in this movie where it's like, oh, no way he's getting out of this bucket of syrup. He's definitely going to die here. And then you're like, but he's narrating. So he'll survive. He'll get through it. Yeah. And I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but it is definitely in there. And it did sort of distract me a little bit.
Fair enough.
The movie is also like at some points it's like really subtle with its allegories, and then sometimes it's not subtle at all. Like when he steals the money from his wife, like his dead wife, and then he cuts his hand, and then there's the shot of the literal blood money. Okay, we could have been a bit more subtle about that.
It's fun though. It's blood money.
I was just really hoping that he was gonna like morph into a rat person. That's kind of what I was hoping.
If you would have been a rat person, that would have been a lot of fun.
Because like, here's the thing: you can do whatever you want with Stephen King. Just fucking change it.
If you watch The Dark Tower, that's literally full of rat people. Make him a rat person.
Yeah, come on. Stephen King loves rat people. Dude, I would have loved for him to turn into.
You're gonna like the rat people, I think.
You know what? I might. Dark Tower might be a 5-star film.
It's a lot of fun. It's like. Nothing to do with Dark Tower.
Yeah, we'll take a couple weeks break from Stephen King as we head out of Spookytober, and then we'll jump back and hit some Dark Tower.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about what you're gonna make me watch Dark Tower immediately.
Nah, I don't really want to see it again.
Not until you absolutely have to.
I mean, I saw it once, and great. Once is fine.
Yeah. So
do I need to see it again?
I think 1922 is fine film. A lot of fun to watch. Some problems with it. Looks great. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 on the Chatsky scale.
Give it a 4.
Give it a 4.
I didn't have any problems. I mean, it's a little maybe too long. Maybe you don't have Thomas Jane.
Yeah, don't have Tom Jane for sure. Don't have Tom.
But I think it was quite a lot of fun.
I'm a big fan of Tom Jane because sometimes he goes by Tom Jane and sometimes he goes by Thomas. It's like, what's your
Thomas
handle?
Jane is his name. Yeah,
what's the handle though? So let's jump on over to our last film of the night. Our last film that we're talking about, of course, is the masterpiece that is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Rest in peace, Stanley Kubrick.
This is like the best movie ever. Like, it's so fucking good.
It's very good.
It's so good. This movie is good for so many reasons. Number one, and this is something I never notice about this movie and why it's so good, is that all of the menacing locations in the movie are so innocently presented to you right at the beginning of the movie. Sure. And like it seems so unsuspecting, and then later in the movie it's like, oh, there's that freezer again, and it's fucking terrifying now. it really is a great movie.
You want some ice cream, Doc?
Yeah, you want some ice cream, Doc? This movie, I know I remember when we watched Chronicles of Riddick, I said, ooh, what is it? The line from Riddick where he's like,
don't know what you're talking
where
about.
he's like, you sent a crew of 4 for me. Fucking insulting. I've always said that's one of my favorite lines in cinema history, but this movie, The Shining, has my favorite line in cinema history. Do you know what line that is?
No.
Okay, there's like a scene. It's so amazing. There's this scene where he's like talking to his wife about how when she comes in when he's writing, it's like distracting. And he's like, when you hear me, you don't come in here. If you hear me typing, you don't come in here. You think you can handle that? And she's like, yes. And he's like, why don't you start now and get the fuck out of here? Greatest line. Fucking incredible.
Shelley Duvall slip into madness very soon after this film.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. That is true. That is true. Which is funny because in this film, it's the other way around. That sort of starts probably my one big pick at this movie. A point of this movie that I don't like is that, like, you have Stanley Kubrick, you got Jack Nicholson, you got fucking Dream Team here. The stars are all aligned to make it a great film, and there's only one way you can fuck it up. Hire Shelley Duvall.
I think she's fine. I think you overestimate this point because you have nothing else to say about it.
I mean, I guess so, right? Because there's nothing else really negative to say about this movie because it's fucking perfect. Yeah. But like, my problem with Shelley Duvall, it's barely about her acting. It's like the Michael Shannon effect. It's the Michael Shannon effect. She's just
we should call the Shelley Duvall effect.
Yeah, she's just so ugly. It makes the movie slightly tougher. And she's got those bug eyes, right? She's got those bug eyes. So like, then you got her looking scared, and the bug eyes, they're basically popping out of the sockets at that point. It's tough, dude. There's like the scene where she wanders in, like at the end of the movie, where she wanders in and there's like all the skeletons, and then there's just a shot of her terrified face for like 5 seconds. Ew, gross. No thanks. Really gross. What I like so much, because I read the book before. I've read the book a few times actually, because this is one of my favorite books and one of my favorite movies. And in the book, I think Stanley Kubrick sort of knew what an audience would be, like a film audience would be looking for out of this book, because the book is so much more about ghosts than the movie.
The Shining. That's the same with the sequel, Dr. Sleep.
Well, and like The Shining, like it's still there in the movie, but the fundamental like skeleton of the movie is more about like this entire family's descent into madness. Like they go from completely sane human beings to hallucinogenic psychopaths, right? And I really do think that's what Stanley Kubrick was going for, and it's probably why Stephen King doesn't like this movie.
Well, he likes it now.
He likes it now?
He didn't like it when it came out because it wasn't about ghosts.
Yeah.
Now he sees it and he's like, well, obviously it's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, not enough ghosts. But here's the thing. There are still ghosts in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And Lloyd the ghost. Oh, that's a perfect character right there. That's a fucking perfect character. One thing that pisses me off about this movie, I'm sorry, we're just going to not give Scatman Crothers an Oscar for this film? That's obviously insane. He's the greatest actor ever, dude. He's so good in this movie. I do love Scatman Crothers, but...
I'm the Scatman.
Yeah. What's up, Doc? It's a lot of fun. It is to a point where you see everything that happens in this movie, and it all just ties together in a way that just so few directors would be able to do this well. It's
the best looking movie.
Yeah. First of all, amazing looking movie. Like it's all set in an isolated. If they made this movie now, they would color correct the entire fucking thing gray. Like they color corrected all gray. But because it was made in the 80s, you have all these wild colors that are just everywhere. Like these shitty yellow rugs. Like it looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah. It's maybe one of the best looking movies ever. It's also got like some really unique camera tricks, like the camera trick of having the camera behind the kid on the tricycle.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Looks really great. There's also some of the best imagery in horror cinema.
Sure.
In this movie, the furry who's eating the lady out. That's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I don't know what that's about, but I love it.
Yeah, I love it too, dude. Just ghosts. Don't worry, they're just furry ghosts. Yeah,
they're fucking.
And then of course there's like the two most iconic images from this film is the two girls in the hallway, which is really spooky, and my personal favorite, which is the elevator full of blood.
Elevator full of blood.
Yeah, elevator full of blood. Yeah, so good. I never noticed there's a door between the two elevators. Do you ever notice that? I noticed that.
There's a lot of stuff you notice every time you watch this movie. Yeah. That's why that Room 237 movie exists.
Yeah, I really want to see that. I
have to watch that. Dude. It's insane. You know when Danny walks into the games room and there's like that poster of the skier on the wall?
Yeah.
People are like, yo, that's a Minotaur. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's like what half that movie's about, is that it's like just like shit's Minotaurs and stuff. And you're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Stanley Kubrick was like, how many Minotaurs can I hide?
Get a lot of Minotaurs up in this bitch. It's like, no, Stanley Kubrick doesn't give a shit about Minotaurs, all right?
And then you come out of the theater for the first time and Stanley Kubrick's like, so what'd you think of the film? You're like, it was great. And they're like, how? And he's like, how many Minotaurs did you see? And you're like, none. And he's like, there's a lot in there.
There's a lot in there. They're like, they hated Mickeys in Disneyland. There's Minotaurs everywhere.
Danny Lloyd, great fucking kid actor.
Yeah.
Great fucking kid actor. Hey, they should make the Dr. Sleep movie and just bring that kid back. I know he doesn't act anymore, but just bring him back.
Yeah. That'd be a lot
apparently, like, I was reading up on this a little bit, but apparently, like, that kid sort of like was like, The Shining fucked me up. I can't do movies anymore. Yeah. Which is great. And Jack Nicholson, obviously,
the best.
Obviously,
I can't imagine anyone else doing that.
Yeah, there's just like there's points where like his facial features, like for instance, the part where he's like talking to the whatchamacallit, the bartender, and the bartender's like, women can't live with them, can't live without them, and he's like, words of wisdom, and he's doing like weird shit with his face. Like,
he's got that weird voice that's just like so perfect for Mad.
Darling, light of my life. Like, he's fucking so great. So I don't think there's really any question about it. This is a 5-star on the Chapsky scale.
Every Kubrick's a 5-star movie. It just depends which ones you've seen most recently.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Stanley Kubrick's a fucking master. He's a master of film. So that leads us to the finale of our Spooky-tober.
Oh shit! Is this the King's of King 2017 draft?
The King of Kings 2017 draft, baby. So we each. You want to explain what kind of draft it is?
Yeah, this is going to be a serpentine draft, a snake-style draft. So the first person will go pick one, second person picks two, and two from there on.
Who gets to go first? What was the last one we did? I feel like you won
Cage?
it. No, we did the intergalactic mission one.
Oh yeah, I guess
we've done a few since the Nick Cage one, because we also did the slasher draft.
No, slasher draft was
a straight tie.
That's a straight tie.
It was a straight tie. So this one's gonna be a little bit tougher, because like, here's the problem with Stephen King movies. They're either 5s or they're 1s.
Yeah, there's like 5 good ones.
Yeah,
like really good ones.
And then there's like maybe three ones that are like middle ground, and then the rest are 1s.
Yeah.
So you better watch the Mangler. You better take
baby.
the Mangler. Quick.
Yeah, baby.
You want to go first?
I'll
let you pick.
Okay, I'll take The Shining then.
Oh fuck, you're right. What a dumb thing. What have I done?
You said it, lad.
Oh, I did. I let you pick. He took The Shining, but here's the thing: is that now you've taken The Shining, I get 2 bangers back to back.
Fair enough.
So for my first pick, I'm going to take a movie that we watched this Spooky-tober. Kathy Bates.
Yeah, that's what I would have picked if I was second.
Misery, baby. I love Misery. This movie's awesome. Who's the other guy? James Caan?
Caan's underrated, dude.
Yeah, really, really good. And then I'm going to take one of the weirdy ones. I'm going to take Stand By Me.
Oh, you bitch. That would have been my next one.
Fuck Will Wheaton, but love Stand By Me.
Hashtag fuck Will Wheaton.
Hashtag fuck Will Wheaton. Here's the thing, is that we didn't talk about it like at all because it's not really relevant to Spooky-tober, but Stand By Me is a 5-star.
Yeah, I love Stand By Me. Dude.
Stand By Me is
That's my mom's favorite movie.
It's her favorite movie, like, of all time.
Her favorite movie.
Yeah, it's a banger, dude. So now that brings us back.
So for my second pick in the 2017 King of King fantasy draft, I'm going to take the new It.
The new It. It's 2017. That's a good one. You got some Finn Wolfhard dick.
Yeah, little tiny dick. So it's really small.
It's like a bean.
And for my third pick in the 2017 King of Kings draft, I'm gonna go with Carrie.
Carrie, see, that's
Brian
a
De
really
Palma.
good pick. I was hoping you wouldn't take Carrie because
Well, obviously
yeah.
I'm gonna take Carrie.
That's the first one.
Shit.
That's the first book he ever wrote, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. And then Salem's Lot.
And then Salem's Lot. Yeah, that's a good one. So I'm going to take, you took one from this year. I'm also going to take one from this year.
Ooh,
I'm going to
it's gonna
take
be
Gerald's Game. Gerald's Game, dude. I love Gerald's Game. The more I
That's
think about it, the
good.
more I'm like, that movie's so fucking great. I had a friend who watched it the other day and he was live
Plop, plop.
texting me.
Ooh.
I was really excited about it. So Gerald's Game is what I'm going to take. And then I'm going to take, fuck, that's tough because if I don't take that movie now, you're going to take it. No, I guess I'll take Tim Curry's It, the original It.
Fair enough.
I'll take the original It because I know you'll never touch it, right?
Would never pick that.
You would never pick it. So I'll take it now because a lot of people like it and I feel like I can get pity votes that way.
I don't think that's how that's going to go down. I'll be taking Cujo for my third pick.
Cujo, I don't know if I would have taken that quick.
Sorry, fourth pick.
Fourth pick, yeah. Cujo's great. I don't know if I would have taken it that quick though.
What do you mean? The rest of them are not good.
Oh, there's some really good shit in here.
I don't like those ones though, so they're not going on my list.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, what's your number 5?
Which is why my fifth pick in the fantasy draft is going to be motherfucking Christine. John Carpenter.
Is this the one with the car that
Yeah,
drives
that's
itself?
the car that drives itself.
There was no driver in the car.
There was no driving in the car.
I've never actually seen this movie, but I know of it. And
I was going to make you watch it, but there's just too many
too much
movies.
shit. Yeah, we'll have to watch it next year for Spooktober. So I cannot believe you didn't take this fucking movie, dude. I'm
What's
buffaloed
that?
you didn't take this movie. I'm gonna take Secret Window.
Yeah, that was on my list, but that's a later one.
Really, dude, I love Secret Window, man. Secret Window is fucking awesome. You got the fucking pedophile mustache on Johnny Depp.
I love it. Johnny
Yeah.
Depp's awesome.
Yeah, give me some of that shit. And then for my number 6, I'm gonna take one that I think a lot of people would expect. I'm gonna take The Green Mile
Yeah,
with Tom Hanks. Wait, I want to go home.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
better than Shawshank, but like also
Definitely better
don't
than
care.
Shawshank. Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I think Michael Clark Duncan's fucking awesome in it. Oh, Rockwell. Ooh, Rockwell's in it.
Rock baby.
Rockwell, dude. No, Green Mile's great, dude.
For my number 6, in the King of Kings fantasy draft, I'm gonna take The Running Man.
Fuck no!
Yeah, you
No!
idiot. You left it to 6. You idiot.
I didn't think you would take this.
Why the fuck wouldn't you think I would take Running Man?
I didn't think you had seen this movie.
I've seen
honestly.
Running Man like 20 times. It was the first Stephen King book I read.
No, not The Running Man, dude. I'm so pissed. You
You're
took The
fucking
Running Man.
dumb, dude.
God, I'm pissed.
Thomas Jane.
Thomas
The
Jane.
Mist is gonna be my number 7.
Is Thomas Jane in The Mist? I thought that was Marky Mark.
Nope, that's The Happening.
Oh, yep, that's a different thing. That's a shamalama ding dong. So for my number 7, I guess I should take Shawshank. I guess I should take the Shawshank Redemption. Why
It's
not?
probably good for points. It's
Yeah.
just a bad movie.
I like it a lot.
No, you don't. It's the most overrated movie of all time.
It's definitely the most overrated movie.
Maybe
of all
Forrest Gump.
time. Still good though. Like it's
not that
it's
good.
way more overrated than Forrest Gump. 100%. It's still good though.
I'd rather watch it than Forrest Gump, but I would also rather not watch either of those fucking shitty movies.
There's hold on. 6 + 7 is 15. Nope, that's 13. There's 13 better Stephen King films than The Shawshank Redemption, 100%. But I still think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then for my number 8 is a movie we didn't even actually even mention at all. But it's still a good movie. Is Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah, I love Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn's good, man. Real creepy. Real creepy. Hit me with your number 8.
I'll take I think I'll take Creep Show.
Creep Show? Yep, that's a good one. That was coming up in my queue here.
I like Creep Show. It's fun. George Romero.
George Romero, yeah. Oh, Leslie Nielsen just murdering it.
Yeah, just fucking murdering. How many I got left? 2 more?
Yeah, you got 2 more, but you got 1 more to pick right now.
Okay. You know what? Give me 1922.
Give you 1922, and see that was going to be my next one too. We'll give you a 1922. In that case, for my number 9. I'm taking Pet Cemetery.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm taking Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery is pretty interesting.
Pretty fun. And for my number 10, you're an absolute fool, Buck. You are an absolute fool. I'll take the Mangler for my number 10.
Oh, you bitch.
Take the Mangler.
I left it too long.
You left it way too long, dude. I'm surprised I didn't take it sooner.
Yeah, we love the Mangler, but we also hate the Mangler. I'll take Needful Things for my last one.
I've never seen this. What is this?
It's a movie where Max von Sydow of The Exorcist fame plays the devil in this town, and then he sells people things at this store, but they don't know that they're selling him their souls, and then he makes them murder each other. It's a better book, but the movie's pretty fun.
That is pretty wild. That's going to be one we're going to watch next Spooktober for sure.
I would have picked it but it's like another one that I watched like a month ago because I just read the book.
That, Christine, and Maximum Overdrive. Those are going to be like the big hitters next year.
Yeah, maybe Carrie too.
We should probably check out Carrie. And, maybe even just talk about Stand By Me just for fun. But Stand By Me is a fucking masterpiece.
So Stephen King is just now our Spooktober because we've seen every other movie.
Well, I mean, like we could just do all the nightmares, but what's the difference of doing all the nightmares and doing all the fucking Fridays?
Like doing just a big episode where we watch one of each. So then I don't get fatigue on them like we did for the last 2 Spookitobers.
Yeah, because like we did, what was it? Dawn of the Dead last Spookitober.
Yeah.
I was pretty done with that by the end of it.
But if we just do this where we watched one of each of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. Then we just get to
why don't you read your list back there for your King of Kings fantasy draft?
So my winning list: number 1, Misery; number 2, Stand By Me; number 3, Gerald's Game; number 4, It from the 1991, I think that was, if I'm not incorrect. Number 5, Secret Window; number 6, Green Mile; number 7, Shawshank Redemption; number 8, Children of the Corn; number 9, Pet Cemetery; and number 10, the greatest film of all time. You know what? I've come around on the Mangler. I've come around. It went from a 1 star, now it's a 5. Wow. It's a quick 5, dude. Wow. I've gone full circle on the Mangler.
My winning list starts off with 1, The Shining; 2017, It; Brian De Palma's Carrie; The Running Man starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, you missed Cujo and Christine.
No, they're coming up.
Oh,
going from the top down like you just did. I would have went from 10 down, but you didn't. So,
but you got The Running Man 6th. So wild. That's what my list says.
That's not what mine does.
Oh, that's weird. All right, well, go on.
Well, now I have to edit this out because you literally just ruined the podcast. Can I just say it in the order that I have here?
Yes, go for it.
Number 1, The Shining; number 2, It 2017; number 3, Carrie; number 4, The Running Man; number 5, Christine; Cujo, The Mist, Creepshow, 1922.
Are you powering down? Things. Are you a fucking robot powering down?
You literally took the wind out of my sails by fucking up the list.
So that's pretty much everything. That's Spookytober. We're pretty fatigued, hey? Pretty tired.
I don't want to watch any more movies.
Yeah, we're never gonna watch any films ever again.
The show's over. This is the last one.
Yeah, we'll have maybe another episode in 3 months. So we'll see you guys then to talk about. We'll talk about Blade Runner in 3 months when it comes out on video.
Twitter, cool,
you can follow me on Twitter at Chadley the Movie.